In a village nestled at the edge of the whispering forest, where the trees spoke secrets to those who would listen, lived an old woman named Nandi. Nandi was known throughout the village for her wisdom and kindness. She had lived a long, adventurous life and was now revered as a guardian of ancient traditions and folktales. But of all her possessions, none was more curious than her magic spoon. The spoon had been passed down through generations, its origin lost to time. It was said that the spoon could conjure food from thin air, heal the sick, and even reveal hidden truths. Despite the many legends surrounding it, few had ever seen its powers firsthand. For Nandi guarded it closely. One evening as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, a young boy named Kofi approached Nandi's hut. Kofi was curious and brave, traits that often led him into trouble, but also into the most fascinating of adventures. "Grandmother Nandi," Kofi called softly, peering through the open doorway. "May I come in?" "Of course, child," Nandi replied with a warm smile. "What brings you here at this hour?" Kofi stepped inside, his eyes wide with excitement. "I've heard tales about your magic spoon. Is it true that it can do wondrous things?" Nandi chuckled, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "Ah, the spoon. Yes, it has many secrets, but its power is not to be used lightly." "Why do you ask, Kofi?" Kofi hesitated for a moment, then blurted out, "My mother is very ill, and the medicine man's remedies are not working. I was hoping the spoon could help her." Nandi's expression softened. She knew Kofi's mother well. She was a kind woman who had often helped Nandi with her garden. The magic of the spoon is strong, but it requires a pure heart and selfless intentions to wield it. "Are you willing to undertake the journey to prove your worthiness?" Kofi nodded fervently. "I'll do whatever it takes." Nandi led Kofi to a small locked chest in the corner of her hut. With a key that hung around her neck, she unlocked it and revealed the spoon. It was simple in design, made of a metal that seemed to shimmer with a light of its own. To activate the spoon's magic, you must first complete 3 trials, each representing an element of nature: earth, water, and fire, Nandi explained. "Only then will you be deemed worthy." The first trial took Kofi deep into the whispering forest. Nandi instructed him to find a rare flower called the heart of the earth, which bloomed only once a decade. The flower was said to have deep red petals that pulsed with the rhythm of the earth itself. As Kofi ventured into the forest, he listened to the trees' whispers, hoping they would guide him. Days passed and Kofi grew weary, but he refused to give up. On the 3rd day, he stumbled upon a clearing bathed in moonlight. There, in the center, was the heart of the earth glowing softly. Kofi carefully plucked the flower and returned to Nandi, who smiled approvingly. "You have passed the trial of earth. Now you must face the trial of water." For the second trial, Nandi sent Kofi to a hidden waterfall known as the Tears of the Sky. Legend had it that the waterfall's waters could only be collected in a special vessel crafted from the scales of a mystical fish that lived in a nearby river. Kofi spent days by the river trying to catch a glimpse of the fish. His patience was tested, but eventually he succeeded. He fashioned a small bowl from the fish's scales and journeyed to the waterfall. As he filled the bowl with the pure, crystalline water, he felt a sense of calm wash over him. When he returned, Nandi nodded in approval. "You have passed the trial of water. Now the final trial awaits, the trial of fire." The trial of fire required Kofi to climb the highest peak in the region and retrieve a burning ember from the eternal flame, a fire that had been burning for centuries. The climb was treacherous with steep cliffs and howling winds, but Kofi persevered. At the summit he found the eternal flame, burning brightly against the night sky. He carefully took an ember, shielding it with a piece of cloth, and made his way back down. Exhausted but determined, he returned to Nandi's hut. Nandi took the ember and placed it in a special bowl beside the heart of the earth flower and the bowl of tears of the sky water. "You have proven yourself worthy, Kofi. The spoon's magic will now aid you." Nandi handed the spoon to Kofi, who felt a surge of energy as he held it. "Now close your eyes and focus on your mother's well-being," she instructed. Kofi did as he was told, and the spoon began to glow. He felt a warmth spread through his body, and when he opened his eyes, The spoon had transformed the contents of the bowl into a healing potion. "Give this to your mother," Nandi said. "It will restore her health." Kofi rushed home and gave his mother the potion. Within moments, color returned to her cheeks, and she opened her eyes, smiling weakly. "Thank you, my son," she whispered. The news of the magic spoon spread throughout the village, and many came to Nandi for help. But Nandi and Kofi knew that the spoon's power was not to be used recklessly. They carefully chose those who truly needed its magic, always ensuring that the trials were completed. As time passed, Kofi grew into a young man, learning more about the ancient traditions and the wisdom that Nandi imparted. He became her apprentice, understanding that the magic of the spoon was just a small part of the larger tapestry of knowledge and responsibility. One day, Nandi called Kofi to her side. "My time in this world is coming to an end, Kofi. You must continue the legacy and protect the magic spoon. Remember, it is not the spoon itself that holds the power, but the purity of the heart that wields it." With a heavy heart, Kofi accepted the responsibility. Nandi passed away peacefully, and the village mourned the loss of their wise guardian. Kofi took up the mantle, guiding the villagers and using the spoon's magic wisely. Under Kofi's watchful eye, the village prospered. The whispering forest continued to share its secrets, and the legends of the magic spoon grew. Kofi often sat by the fire, telling stories of his adventures and the trials he had faced. The children listened in awe, their imaginations sparked by the tales of courage and magic. They dreamed of one day embarking on their own journeys, knowing that they too could become guardians of the village's ancient traditions. Years passed and Kofi became an elder, much like Nandi. He chose a young girl named Amma as his apprentice. Amma was curious and brave, reminding Kofi of himself when he was younger. He taught her the ways of the village, the secrets of the whispering forest, and the responsibilities that came with the magic spoon. Amma's first trial was to find the heart of the earth flower. She listened to the whispers of the trees, just as Kofi had, and returned with the flower. For the trial of water, she crafted a bowl from the scales of the mystical fish and collected the tears of the sky. And for the trial of fire, she climbed the highest peak and retrieved an ember from the eternal flame. Kofi watched with pride as Amma completed each trial, proving her worthiness. When the time came, he handed her the magic spoon, feeling the same surge of energy he had felt so many years ago. "Use it wisely, Amma," he said. "And remember, it is the purity of your heart that gives the spoon its power." Amma nodded, her eyes shining with determination. She knew that she was now the guardian of the village's ancient traditions, and she vowed to uphold the legacy of Nandi and Kofi. As the years went by, Amma became a beloved figure in the village, guiding the people with wisdom and kindness. The legend of the magic spoon continued, passed down from generation to generation, a symbol of the enduring power of selflessness and courage. And so the magic spoon of the old woman remained a beacon of hope and wonder, its true power lying not in its ability to perform miracles, but in the hearts of those who used it for the greater good.
Thanks for watching my video. Subscribe my channel for new stories.